All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever done this? You start saving, you start investing, you check your account after like a year, and you just think, wait, that's it? I mean, you're doing all the hard work, you're cutting back, but the progress feels just so slow. Well, listen, if that's you, you're not going crazy. There's a real reason for that feeling. And today, we're going to break down exactly why that first big hurdle is such a grind, and more importantly, the exact moment it all changes. And to really get our heads around this, let's start with this one powerful idea. The first $100,000, it's a war. Yep, you heard that right. It's not just a little challenge, it's an all-out battle. A battle against your own spending habits, against the crazy ups and downs of the market, and maybe the toughest part, a battle against your own impatience. It feels like a fight because, honestly, in the beginning, you're the only one in the trenches.
You know, the best way I've ever heard this explained is with the snowball analogy. So picture this. You're at the very top of this massive snow-covered mountain. But right at the peak, it's just bare, frozen ground, no snow. So if you want to start a giant avalanche, what do you have to do? You've got to scrape together those first few handfuls of snow yourself. Your hands are freezing, it's hard work, and this tiny little snowball you've made looks pathetic, right? Well, that's exactly what starting to build wealth feels like.
Yeah, this is what some people call the brute force phase. And it's called that for a reason. Because at this stage, the growth of your account depends on pretty much one thing, and one thing only. How much money you can physically save. It's all about your own effort, your heavy lifting.
And this chart right here, it just lays it all out perfectly. Let's say you manage to save and invest $10,000 in your first year. That's awesome. Look at that bar. That's all you. That's your contribution. It's huge. Now, look at the other bar. The one for market growth. Even in a pretty good year, say an 8% return, that's only $800. It's this tiny little sliver. Your effort, your savings, it just completely dwarfs anything the market is doing for you.
And this gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? We've all heard that phrase, make your money work for you. Well, guess what? In the beginning, it's a total myth. Your money isn't working for you. You are working your tail off for it. You're funding the whole operation. It's a completely one-sided deal. And honestly, this is the exact point where so many people get frustrated and just quit.
But what if I told you there's a very specific point where this whole thing flips on its head, a moment where the grind kinda ends and something else starts to take over? This, my friends, is the $100,000 inflection point, and it's the very thing you've been fighting that war for. $100,000. That's the number. And look, it's not just some random feel-good milestone. It is a mathematical turning point. It's the moment your little hand-packed snowball is finally big enough to start rolling all by itself. It starts picking up its own snow, gaining its own momentum, and you don't have to push it nearly as hard anymore. So what exactly is this inflection point? Well, going back to our analogy, it's that magic moment where your snowball rolls off the barren patch and hits the deep, fluffy powder. It's when gravity, which for us is compound interest, starts doing more of the work than you are. The heavy lifting starts to shift.
Okay, and this is where it gets really, really cool. This is where the magic of compounding finally shows up to the party. We're about to look at this amazing thing called the flip. Think of it as the moment your little army of dollar bills finally starts fighting with you, instead of you fighting for them. So the flip, that's your reward for winning that brutal initial war. It's the aha moment when you realize your account is now growing from two engines at once. There's your savings, and then there's the money your money is making all on its own.
And here's where it just clicks. Let's say you're consistently saving $500 a month, okay? That's your contribution, that's your bar. Now look at the other bar. A $100,000 portfolio with just a pretty average return can actually start to generate around $600 a month in growth by itself. All of a sudden, the market is putting in more money than you are. You've basically doubled your savings rate without lifting another finger. How incredible is that?
I mean, that's the payoff right there. For every dollar you put in, the market is matching you or even beating you. You are not alone in this fight anymore. Your snowball is now officially an avalanche in the making. And let me tell you, from this point on, the growth just goes exponential. The next 100,000, it's going to come way faster than the first one did. Okay, so understanding the why is awesome, but it's kind of useless without the how, right? So how do you actually do this? How do you win that war and get to the inflection point? Well, the strategy itself is actually pretty simple. The hard part? It takes discipline. It really just boils down to two key parts. Step one, you've got to put your money in the right place, a place where it can actually grow.
And step 2, you need a disciplined system to consistently feed that account, especially during that tough brute force phase.
So, what are these right assets? Look, for most of us, the simplest and most powerful tool is a low-cost index fund. We're talking about things like VTI that tracks the entire US stock market, or VOO, which follows the S&P 500. What these do is they give you a tiny piece of hundreds of great companies. You get instant diversification, you get historically solid returns, and you don't get killed by high fees. You're basically buying a piece of the whole economic engine.
And the second piece of the puzzle is that system. And what that really means is setting some hard limits on your spending. Call it an expense ceiling. The goal is to maximize every single dollar you can save and invest each month. It's about making a conscious choice to pay your future self first. This is how you get the ammo you need to win that war for the first 100K.
So there it is. The path is actually pretty clear. It is a tough climb. At first, there's no doubt about it. But there is a summit, that $100,000 inflection point where the whole landscape changes and your journey starts being powered by something way bigger than just your own effort. You've seen the map, you know the way. The only question left is, are you ready to make the climb?